Hi everybody, my name is Lilibeth Cordero. I currently attend St. Joseph College in Brooklyn, New York. I have a major in hospitality and tourist management and a minor in business administration and marketing. For this conference, I have decided to do more research about the glass ceiling, and the topic of my research is, are you a victim of the glass ceiling? And I can't wait to show you my results. Okay. So through history, women have struggled in society because of patriarchy. Nowadays, many of us assume that situation is changing, that maybe because it's 2021 we were evolving, but however, that is not the fact. Gender gap still exists. Gender discrimination is something that is common while women apply for jobs. So it makes me wonder if maybe that's one of the reasons why women in minorities are still making minimum wage. So that's why I decided to do more research about it. But first, I want to explain a little bit more about the glass ceiling. It is a metaphoric barrier that blocks women and minorities from advancing up the corporate ladder. As I said, the goal of this study is to explain the effects of the glass ceiling on women and how women expect to advance if they think they are being under the influence of it. There are several factors that might reinforce the glass ceiling, one of them being the men's club, which usually exclude women. There is also the fact that the the woman took more time to be part of the workforce, and how she was raised. Maybe women in certain societies were actually raised uh, to be a maid, or like to always serve the man. So for that reason, this why I actually did some research. For my methods, the participants were 30 female adults between the ages of 18 to 60. There were no male participants for this research. Most of the participants were found through the social media LinkedIn. There were no compensation, they were not paid to be part of this research. So the materials that I did a survey using Qualtrics. It consists of 14 questions that use a Likert scale from strongly agree to strongly disagree. And the survey concluded with shared demographic questions. So what do I find out? The study actually addresses the glass ceiling effect of women. The answer questions demonstrated that women believe that they are under influence of it. I used a t-test for equality to do the statistics, and I found out that women have discovered that they make less money than men doing the exact same job. Also, I did some statements in which how women identify how they perceive themselves. So one of the statement is like, women also believe that they're equal to men, to which mostly everyone agree that we're equal to men. I found out really interesting because I was under the assumption that women were still ask questions such as, do you plan to have children? To which to what many women actually slightly disagree with that statement. So maybe there's something that is not happening anymore based on the participants in this study. They also feel like they're having a stereotype. And I also include one statement that says, I feel that women cannot make decisions under pressure because they're too emotional. So this is the basic stereotype based in women, since they're supposed to be feminine, they're supposed to be cry all the time or be extremely emotional or overreact. So I wanted to know if women still believe that. Might believe that maybe that's one of the reasons why they don't go up in the corporate ladder. But they disagree with that statement, and they also agree with the statement that the men clubs is still something that is going on. It actually increases the gender inequality in a company. And one interesting factor or like statement that I could get from this research is that women believe that there should be more women in leadership roles. I think that's really important because, if you are a small child growing up and you see too many women working on and being like CEOs and being company, then that reinforces the idea that we can do it. So it was, so most of the women agree with that statement. That was a question that everybody almost agreed in that statement. I also added statements such as, I feel men take more risk than women, like asking for a raise, which women disagree because there are nowadays women that actually speak up for themselves, that they get raises too. So I believe that that was a really interesting question. Since my study was first based on two industries within the hospitality industry, for example, I wanted to know more about the difference between the restaurant and the hotel industry. First, I believe that there might be something different within both industries, so I wanted to know more about it. To which I added questions like, which industry do you work? That is basically explaining here. Which I got some people working in the hotel industry and others working in the restaurant industry. And I also got answers from people that work as a housekeeping, or like they work in other, like as babysitters outside the main hospitality industry. So what I found out is that there is no major significant difference between the industries. So they are treated specifically the same. No one is treated different because one actually is part of the hotel industry. They are basically treated the same. I also want to say that for the values, all the questions were more than 0.05. That it shows there is no correlation. There are reasons beyond only chance that shows the effects of gasoline on women in their respective industry. And that's everything that I could find out by doing this research. So in conclusion, women are still under the influence of the glass ceiling, and they know that, and some of them are still trying to 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 get up that corporate ladder, but it's something that is still going on, and it haven't changed no matter how long it has happened. It's a concept that is still among us, but now some of the participants that didn't know what it was before, they have more information about it. And it's good to know that women are not be treated different based on what they work for. So that was something really interesting that I found out. And I hope that with this research, women realize that they have to break the glass ceiling and advance in the corporate ladders. Because at the end, women are still under the influence of it. So that's all I could find out. Thank you.